Hello, today we are going to learn how to use Microsoft FoxPro 2.6 for MS-DOS, for Microsoft DOS. This is the way it looks like. So it's a text user interface development environment with a database, with a programming language in the family of DBase. Can enter data into the database that contains one table using forms, such as this one, or using directly browsing the table, or you can create applications with, for instance, menu system. It looks like this. This is the command prompt. This is an application, a source code file that's opened in the development environment. This is a data entry application with custom menu. This is a program source code. This is the debugger. Okay, so there's two similar products. When you search for FoxPro, you often encounter the other product, which is Microsoft Visual FoxPro, which looks like this. It's a Windows Win32 graphical user interface application with a large superset of functionality compared to FoxPro 2.6. Okay, so we're talking about the other product, not Visual FoxPro, not for Windows, but FoxPro 2.6 for Microsoft DOS. Database management system, procedurally oriented programming language, has been available for other operating systems than MS-DOS along the time. Okay, we're talking about the variant for MS-DOS. The last version that has been released is FoxPro for DOS 2.6a, this version, from August 1994. The next versions are of the Visual FoxPro variety with graphical user interface instead of text user interface. Okay, so this is the system. Let's go full screen. So this is how FoxPro looks like when you start it. This is the command prompt. Let's look at about FoxPro 2.6, released in 1994 by Microsoft. It's a text user interface application. Everybody has used such a thing, either connected to a remote mainframe machine or via SSH, PuTTY, or in MS-DOS command prompt, or in a virtual machine, etc. Okay, FoxPro has an installer, comes with 5 floppy disks. I copied the contents of all of the floppies in a directory, and then inside there is an executable named installer that will install FoxPro correctly, and by default it installs it into c:\fpd26, so FoxPro for DOS 2.6. Let's now follow a tutorial and learn more about FoxPro. Let's close the About box. Done. So we're following the tutorial for FoxPro 2.6 from live2learn.in. So it says that in FoxPro you have databases, and a database can contain a single table. That's why we should try to have both the table and the name have the same name. FoxPro programming language and commands can be shortened to the 4 first characters. For instance, when you say create, that's the same thing as saying cree. So the first 4 letters, first 4 characters, cree. Okay. Unfortunately, the users of FoxPro get into the habit of not really remembering the full name of commands and just remembering, memorating the first 4 characters in command. So they will say things like modicom instead of modify command. Okay, so let's first try to open a database. Says that the database book does not exist. Let's close the all opened databases. Close all. No database has been opened. It's just a fresh installation of FoxPro. We've just started it. Okay, let's now create a database. Create book. This is the dialog that asks us what is the structure of the database book.dbf. So has been created inside of slash or in C:\\, so in the root directory of the C partition where FoxPro is installed with the name book.dbf. So this is the extension for FoxPro database files, dbf. Okay, so let's start creating fields. The field so characters are uppercase, although I have typed lowercase a, it wrote uppercase a. Name character 20. Registration number. Okay. So this second column, this is the first column name, the second column type, the third column width, the fourth column decimal positions. On the second column type, when the background is blue, that means that this is the current control that we're at. And this control is actually a combo box. So we can expand the combo box using, for instance, the Enter key on the keyboard, Escape to close the combo box, or Space key on the keyboard to open the combo box, Escape to close the combo box. So we go in here, we go numeric and 6, no decimal positions, and marks. Okay. Once the structure of the table is complete, you can save using the mouse. Hopefully mouse works for you. You press OK. Or you can go with the tab key. Or with the Shift tab key. So similar convention as for the graphical user interface applications, tab and Shift tab to navigate through the controls which are focusable. Okay. Input data records now. No. Okay. So we've created the database structure. The fields, we did not enter any records yet. We can see that the current database is the book one by, for instance, seeing in a tabular editable read-write version the entire table using the command browse. You can see that it has opened book, there's columns, and there's no data. Ctrl W to close. So let's now exercise switching databases and closing databases. So close all. And now if we go browse, where are you? It doesn't know what to do. Okay. Says no database is in use. And now if we go use book, it will open the correct file, and now browse works correctly as expected. Okay. Maybe we've created a table, but something is wrong in the database structure. Maybe you need to create a new column. Maybe you need to, I don't know, to delete a column, to edit something there. The command line is modify structure. Okay, takes you back to the form where you have created the initial structure of the book.dbf file, so of the table and of the database. Shift tab like this. Price. Invalid field width or number of decimal places. Let's go with 0 for now. And OK. Make structure changes permanent, yes. And it will automatically do changes on the data rows. Okay, because maybe you had three columns and 3 rows, and now you're adding a 4th column, then all of the previously existing 3 rows will need to be updated. Okay, now we like the structure. Let's add some data. So we have append. This opens the database and table book using a forms editor, not a table style editor. So the table style editor, you open it with the command browse, and with the command append, and there are other commands, you can open this view on the table rows, which is form style, the name of the book. 12. Okay. And once we navigate to the next record using the tab key, a new record will be added. Ctrl W to close. Let's browse again. And now we are in a read-write tabular style interface where we can easily edit the rows in the that already exist in the database. Okay, so this is the tabular view, and with append you get to the form view for data entry. Ctrl W. There is the concept of the current database. We have shown it with close all. There is no current database. If we try to do any operation, it will say there's no current database and it will offer us to open a database file. And with use, you open an existing file on the hard disk, which is actually a database. We can append one row at a time, the way we did it using the append command. And we can also append from another table. The syntax is like this: append from, and then the name of another database. So this is the database book, and we want to copy from the database catalog. There's no such file, so the command line will fail, but that's the way you copy records from catalog to books if catalog and books have the exact same structure, the same fields. Okay. Next up, we have display. You need to look at this rectangle as a command prompt where you enter commands, but then standard output of the command prompt is in this rectangle. So when you print something, in this rectangle you will see the output in the big blue one, and in the small green bluish you will enter the commands. Okay, so the commands to display, there's display all. There's only one record. There's display structure. So you need to think of whatever you see in this big rectangle as the result of a printf in the C programming language, or an echo in Bash or in command prompt. That's what you see in here is not editable, it's just plain text that was printed to the standard output. And display status. There's more than one page to be shown here. The output is shown in the big rectangle in the standard output. It's automatically paginated and we're shown only the first page. Okay, this is the second page. After the second page, printing to the console has finished and the paginator ends, and we return back to the command prompt blue-green small rectangle. Okay, and display memory. Zero variables defined, 1024 variables available. Press any key to continue. So the paginator allows you to press the space key, the enter key, and you cannot scroll up. Any key on your keyboard, including the up and down arrow keys, just advance to the next page. This is the way you use history in the command prompt window, small window. You just move with your up arrow key. And then hit enter. Control W. Okay. Next up, we can have a status bar visible. By default, it's not visible. Let's enable this thing. Set status bar on. This is the status bar. Says C column backslash the current database opened is book records. There's one, and the current record is the first one. There's also the concept of current record. We will see immediately. Okay. We can edit records. This is the same form entry read-write editor for one row at a time, as we saw with the command append. This is the command edit. Control W. We can append an empty record. And now when we edit, the current record is the second record out of two, but the first one we've entered all of the data, whereas the second one was created with append blank. Okay. So as long as the current record is a second, when we go edit, it will try to edit the empty record. There's also the possibility of not editing the current record, but a record which has a certain value in a cell. So let's see that. Okay, and the syntax is edit for, and then the name of the column, regno, equals, and then the value 12. Okay, so this is useful, I know, in a book keeping application, for instance, or a library. You can edit the record of the user with a certain ID. Okay, so this was creating databases, creating structure, and adding rows. Now we'll do the opposite, which is cleaning up, deleting rows, deleting structure. The first thing that we want to see is what's the current record. So as you can see, the current record is record 1 out of 2. That's because we have edited the record with column regno equals 12. Okay, so let's go edit and then go to the second row, Control W, and now the current row is the second one. You can see rec 2 out of 2. And now the command for deleting a single record is delete. It deletes the current record. Let's go display all. And we can see that the second row is marked for deletion. The first row is still intact. We can delete more than one rows. There's delete next 4. Okay. So we can see that the delete command marks records or rows with the asterisk, which means marked for deletion. And we have a way to undo a row being marked for deletion, which is the command recall. Okay, and then we go display all. Where are you? It continues to be marked for deletion because it says record end of file out of 2. How do we do that? Let's go to the first position, edit, and recall next 1. It says 0 records recalled. And now it says 1 records recalled. So you need to tell it exactly which of the records that are marked for deletion you want to actually recall. And you cannot position yourself on the second record because that was marked for deletion. And if you see the current record, when I was on the position 2 and then I deleted the second row, it said that the current row is end of file. So you cannot say recall the current record because the current row, because you cannot position yourself such that the current record is a record that has been marked for deletion. Okay, let's delete it again. And let's see if there's a recall all. And there is a command recall all, which recalls all of the rows that have been marked for deletion, which is just the second row. And now there is no longer an asterisk on the second row. It's not marked for deletion anymore. Okay, let's delete. We're on position end of file out of 2. So let's get back to the second position and delete the current record and display it's marked for deletion, the second record. We'll use the command pack, which has removed all of the records that have been marked for deletion. Next up, we have marked a row for deletion. We have made it disappear from the table using the command line pack. And now let's see on which record is the current one. Okay, on the first one, we can see the current row is the first out of one. And instead of marking this row for deletion, we will empty all of the cells. Blank. One record's blanked, says in here. And let's display all. All of the cells in the first row have been emptied. The first row remains. Okay, and the final command, which cleans up databases, is zap. Zap book.dbf, yes. And now it has deleted all of the records in the current database. How can we see that? So the table book, the database book still exists, but there are 0 rows. Let's edit a number. Let's add a number of rows. Control W. Let's go browse. Where are you? How do we add things? Append like this. Okay, so name. Can we go small case? Okay, and that should be enough. Let's display all. So we have 7 records, and the current record is end of file out of 7, so there's no current record. So says the status bar. So let's learn how to navigate through the rows. There's the go or go to command. We will use go. So go top. Now the current record is the first out of 7. The opposite. Now the current record is the 7th out of 7. We can go with at a certain number, go 3. Okay, we can go from the current position, skip over 3 rows, and land at row, I know, 7. Let's see. Skip 3. So we started at the current position 3, and then we went skip 3, and now the current position is 6, so it actually skipped over 4 and 5. Okay. So we used display all, and now we can go list. Similar command, so says it will list records on the screen, of course, the same thing as display all. It can be used with conditions. For instance, we can show only the rows that have the price lower than 10. So that's list for a value of price is less than 10. Okay, so list for price less than 10. Price is already a numeric column, so you can use comparison operators, less than, greater than, etc. Okay, or you can list certain columns. Name and price plus 10. Or price times 2. Okay, let's look at the browse now. So browse, when you're in a hurry, you want to see the entire database, you want to edit some columns, some cells at various columns and rows. The best mobility possible when you try to edit more than one cell at a time is browse. So it opens a read-write view of the rows in a tabular display. Okay. So if you want to, whoa, this price is too small, let's make it way bigger, like 7. Okay. Close and browse again. And now the price has been updated. So it's instant apply. Very powerful, but you can also destroy many cells easily in your database. So be very careful when you're using browse in read-write mode. And there's a browse in read-only mode. Browse, no edit. You still can navigate, but you cannot change the values. What you can do is you can mark a record for being deleted with Ctrl D. And now it has received the asterisk at the start. So before the first column, you can see the asterisk for the third row. Ctrl W and then display all. Okay, you can see the third row has the asterisk, which means it's marked for deletion. Let's recall all. And now no record is marked for deletion anymore. And there's another variety where you can say browse no delete. If you want to be able to edit the rows, but not be able to mark them as deleted with Ctrl T. Okay, let's see some of the built-in functions. recno returns the currently selected row, which in the status we can see it's 3 out of 7. There's a command that's similar to the DOS command dir, which lists the files with extension dbf in the current directory. So says there's just one file and the current directory is the one that's shown in here in the first cell in the status bar, which is the root directory of the c:\drive. That's why it finds book.dbf, and that's why it says there's just one file. And this is the file book.dbf with 7 records. Okay, and then there's the rest of the set commands. There's set headings on, and then display all, and then set headings off. Where are you? And display all. So this is the display all with headings off, and this is the display all with headings on. It just additionally shows the headings of the columns in a yellow color. Let's set it back on. Where are you? Okay, we will not print. There's set print on, which means the commands will not print in here in this big rectangle at the standard output, but it will instead print to your printer on paper. And then set printer to, and then the name of the MS-DOS device, such as LPT1, so line printer, which is the parallel port. Okay, another built-in function, date. We can see the century. And then date again. So year in 4 digits version. Set century off, and then date will show just 24 for the current year. Okay, and then we can set the date format. Set date Britain. Set date America. Notice that the month is on the second position for British and the month is on the first position for English US. Set date Japan. Interesting. Okay, so let's do some cleaning of fields and updating of fields. So let's do a display all. Complicated. Says no database is in use. We will need to select one database. Use book. Display all. And we'll for the current field, for the current row, there's no current row yet. Let's go to small trouble. Okay, so we're at record row 6 is the current row. In there we go replace price with 100 and display all. And browse we cannot actually see. So the 6th row, which is the current row, now the value of price is 100. So that was replace price with 100. And you can edit not just one cell in the current row, but for instance, an entire column. So that's replace all price with price plus 100. And let's do the reverse. So replace all prices replace all in the sense that in all of the rows, replace the value in the cell price with price minus 100. And now we're back to Saner prices. Okay, and you can put empty null values. Let's do that. Replace name with this thing. And now I did not select the row that I want to edit. So it edited the last row. So that was what petit enfant. Let's put it back. Okay, and you can blank more than one field. Blank puts empties and zeros into all of the columns of the current row. There's no current row. Now the current row is the last one. We can put blanks there. That's the command line. We have seen this previously. Or we can put blanks only on certain fields. Blank fields and mark 1 and mark 2. Okay, so just these two fields have been replaced with a null value. Put in here, what was it? And 2. When you create a table or you edit its structure using the modify struct command, you are given this editor for the structure of the table, and the possible types in here are the following. So character is for strings, maximum 254 characters, uppercase AZ, so the English alphabet, lowercase az, 0 to 9, underscore, and some special symbols. If you don't specify a length, the default is going to be 10. Let's actually see that. Okay, so the default width is 10. Next up, there's numeric. There's the possibility for decimal places, possible values 0 through 9, and dot, the decimal dot. Maximum 20 digits. Decimal part can be maximum 18 digits. Float, this is a floating point type. Signed numbers, maximum 20 digits. Or percentage and average. Okay, then there's the date. The default is day slash month slash year. So month is always with 2 decimals. So 02 for February. Okay. And then there's logical, which is the Boolean type. The only possible values are true or false, y and n. Uppercase y, uppercase n. Memo, text fields which can be larger than 254 characters, similar to probably to varchar and text in MS SQL. The data is stored in a separate file with extension fpt, FoxPro text extension. And then the last one is general. For storing pictures, text data. So this is probably similar to the blob. Okay, let's delete this field. How do we do that? And okay. Make structure changes permanent, yes. Let's look at some of the mathematical functions that exist predefined in FoxPro. So modulus, the absolute value, and question mark, right? Okay. Question mark int and then a floating point number or a decimal point number. Okay, let's see how it rounds. So it's a floor rounding. Not really, it's just the integer part, like that. Okay, of course there's floor. Minus 17.52. Should be minus 18, okay. Ceiling 17.52 should be 18. Modulo so 3 divided by 2 is mod 1. Okay, there's another round. $17.50 should be 18. Takes more than one parameter. Min of a list should be 2. Max, the same thing, the same syntax. Should be 15. 17. Square root 1, 2, 3 to 1 would be 111. Logarithm, natural logarithm. And log base, log 10. Should be 1, okay. And then there's the trigonometry functions, a sin, a tan, a cos, etc. Okay, so question mark is similar to echo in bash scripting or in cmd.exe scripting, which is similar to console.writeline. So it writes the standard output and then it appends a new line. If you want to, so like this, it writes 1.00 and then it puts a new line. If you want to write on the same line, you go question mark, question mark. Okay, so you can print a string or on its own line. So this would be like console write line, whereas this is like console write. And now we're at the point where we will start creating programs. So programs are similar to script files. Okay. The syntax is modify command. So let's do that. Modify command. Hello. Hello is the name of the product of the program of the script file. The extension will be added automatically and it's PRG. Okay, so it creates a file named hello, the name that we provided for the new application that should be created. The extension is PRG. So let's go some of the commands that we have already run in the command prompt. So hello, and then put it like this. There. Control W to save and close. And now we're going to execute the program. The syntax is do, and then the name of the PRG file. So hello. Okay, so it wrote hello somewhere, and then there. Let's edit the application. So should write hello and not put a new line, and then should write there and put a new line. The command for cleaning the standard output is clear, so we should definitely add that at the start of our program. Control W. So now we can execute the program do hello. It only prints there. Why? I'm not sure. Let's see. So clear. I'm not sure what it's doing in here. So console write does not work, but console write line does work for the first line or something. So we need to add an empty something, and then continue like this. So question mark advances. So first of all, it prints a new. Oh, okay. Print the expression on the same line with two question marks, and one question mark prints the expression in a new line. So you need to start with a question mark such as that you advance from the line that's outside of standard output to the first line in standard output. You print a hello on a new line, and then you can print there on the existing first line where hello is. Okay. Okay, next up, so this would be console write line. Next up, we will do console read line. So that's for the numeric type, it's input. And then if we want a label, age, and then the 2, and then the name of the local variable age. And for strings, console readline is the syntax is accept, and then a label name, and then 2, and then name. And then let's see if we can print those. Okay, so it asks for the age, which is 23, and name, which is John. Wow, what did it do? It printed the name of the current record. Wow. Wow. Okay, let's do browse. The current record is 1 out of 7. The name is Big Book of Rhymes. And when we said to print the name, it actually printed the cell name of the current row instead of printing the local variable name. Interesting. In here on this line. So we'll need to create new local variable names that do not exist in the current database. Okay, how do we do that? Okay, this is the probably the debugger. Let's go suspend, and name should be given name. Cancel. Okay, so that's what you want to do. Do not use as local variables identifiers. So the name of the local variables should not be identical to the names of columns from the current database. Let's see how we can do prettier console write lines. We don't need this anymore. So most programs should start with clear if they want to put something at the standard output. We use input in order to read numerics. We use except in order to read strings. And then we're going to do some very pretty printing. Like this. Let's see if it works. Because it's an integer, it justifies it to the right. And probably these are the possible positions which are then by default. Let's actually see the type. So numeric can hold up to 20 digits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 9 blank characters and then 23. Okay, it's an interesting formatting. And then we'll need another line like this at the very end. So it puts two spaces between name and John. One is probably this one, and the other one is because there's a comma, something similar to the print in Python. Let's see. Okay, now it's better. There's just one space between minus and John. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 10 digits, decimal positions, and only the last ones are used and with right justification. Okay, so there's no need to put a space at the end of the first string if you have a comma, because a space will be added between the first parameter and the second parameter between separated by comma when you print on new line. Next up, we do text user interface, which means printing text at some x and y coordinates, painting a yellow rectangle from x and y to x and y, so from a point to another, which is the top left corner, the corner to the bottom right corner. So let's see how that works. So it's like console write line always prints on the current row, on the first row, and with text user interface allows you to, I know, print at these coordinates or delete these 3 or delete this asterisk and put a 7 instead, for instance. So you're using coordinates to delete what's there, to put new text, and to put color. Okay, so let's see. So clear, and then in order to put at position 2 and 10, we put some text. We say, hey, say hello. There. Do 2. Okay. So at line 2, column 10, it will put the text hello there. This is the first line, this is the second line. So lines, which means OY axis grows from top to bottom, and OX axis grows from left to right. So the syntax is row and then column, which is Y and then X. Okay. We can clear from a coordinate to another. So let's see that. One and one. Clear to 12 and 12. Okay, so first we write at row 2 column 10 some text, and then we clear a rectangle of characters from 1.1, which is the first character that's printed on the screen, to 12, the 12th row and 12th column. So such a square. We delete all of the characters in this square, which means we have deleted H and E and L from hello there. Okay. Then we have boxes. So boxes means line, comma, row, comma, column, to row, comma, column. Okay, and then previously we wanted to print a local variable which was of type numeric. It was right justified, and we can use the function close in order to left justify, for instance. So let's see that. So we create a local variable where we put the value to 1550. And then we want to say, so let's see function B, which left justifies numeric data within the display region. So clear store 2750 to num. And then we want to say num twice. Control right arrow jumps a word. So that's 5 and 20. Say num. And on the next line, 6 and 20, we say num, but with function B. What did we just do? So say num at these coordinates, say num at these coordinates, but with function B. Okay, and this first operation to 750 might be because echoing is enabled. So that was it. Similar to at echo on, at echo off in cmd.exe batch files. There's a set talk off in FoxPro programs, which makes that this line store to 750 to num does not echo anything, does not write anything to the standard output. Set talk on is enabled by default. And now 2750 is displayed by the third line in the program. So it's always a good idea to start all of your programs with clear and set talk off if you want to do text user interface programs and write to the standard output. Okay, so when you say and then function, the possibilities are, so B left justifies numeric data, C displays a positive number to indicate a credit, only works with numeric data, D is for date, E is for the British date, so if you want to display a date as British date, you go say num function E. T trims leading and trailing blanks, so it does trim before printing. Round open parentheses encloses negative numbers in parentheses. So there's a number of possibilities for function. There's X, there's Z, there's bang, exclamation mark, there's dollar sign. Except function, there's also picture. Okay, so let's go now to control structures. What we have seen until now in programs is the linear code structure. There's two more code structures in structured programming. There's alternative structure and repetitive structure. Alternative structure in FoxPro is if, else, and if. You can have if in if. And then there's the switch statement, which is do case. Okay, repetitive structures. There's the for loop. For variable equals initial value to final value step, and then the count to increment each time. Default step is 1, similar to Pascal. Next up, once you get to be able to write programs, and you write a number of programs, you will need to create applications, programs of type FoxPro menu, where you have main menus, where you have combo boxes. Depending on what the user chooses there, you will use a do case. Let's see how a complicated program looks like. So this is a program named menu.prg, which displays a system of menus. So very similar to a classical text user interface application. Okay. Starts by setting some toggles. So echo off, talk off, and then set century on. So that's displaying the year with 4 digits. And then it enters a infinite loop, do while t. So do while true. Clears the screen, and then at absolute positions on the screen at row 5 column 20 to row 19 column 45 paints a rectangle that has double border. Then it writes main menu. Then it writes data entry, report, printing, processing, exit, quit to system, and menu. This is the switch case statement, do case. K1, K2, K3, K4, K5. These are the options in the menu. Otherwise, it returns in the loop, which is the do while t. End of case, end of do while, and then closes all databases and clears the screen. So let's see how this thing works. Control W, do menu. So this is how it looks like. There's two rectangles which are double line border, the text main menu, and then a system of 5 menu entries. So there's data entry, report, printing, process, exit, and quit to system. Quit to system exits to DOS. Exit exits this menu.prg. And then let's start with data entry. Okay, what are we going to edit? Let's edit a student. And there's no student program. So do stud opens the program stud.prg and starts execution. So from one PRG, you can start execution of another PRG. At any error that you have in your program, this debugger window is displayed, the red one. Cancel, suspend, and ignore. Cancel. Okay, so that was how you create complex text user interface applications. You can call from one PRG another PRG. You can create menus like this in the body of the page. You can also create menus as this main menu style. So you can create your own window, and at the top of the window, you can have your own main menu with sub-menu entries and dialogues that open. You can see the guidelines for menus, and main menus are very similar to what exists in Windows. There's accelerators, S, F, E, D, you know, this letter that's colored differently. You can get to the menu with F10 or with Alt. You can open the menu system using the S letter accelerator using Alt S key combination. Alt D will open the database menu. So this type of main menus you can also have in your application. And this is about it with using FoxPro 2.6 for MS-DOS. You can use it in two ways, either by running existing programs, so just be a data entry person, or you can use it as a programmer. You can use it as a development environment where you enhance your existing programs. Okay. Next up, let's see how we install FoxPro 2.6 for DOS. Let's exit, Control W and exit. There's no such thing. Quit, and we're back to DOS. So let's see how we can install Microsoft FoxPro 2.6a, so the latest version for Microsoft DOS. It comes at 5 floppy images. I have copied the contents of all of the 5 floppy disks to a single directory, which is tilde/dos/fox. Looks like this. And now, because I'm using the Linux operating system, I'm on Kubuntu 23.10. I'm going to use one DOS emulator. In this case, it's called DOSBox-X, and I'm running it from Flatpak. So I say Flatpak, please run com.dosbox_x, DOSBox-X, and then the directory where I have this directory Fox with the content of the 5 floppy disks. Okay, so let's see what it says. So it says that drive C is mounted as the local directory tilde/work/DOS, which means in C:\\, there's just one directory, which is this one, Fox. Let's full screen. Not full screen, let's maximize. And now we don't really need this main menu, so video, hide, show menu bar. Okay. So we can see that we have a drive C. We know it's mounted in the correct place. Should be just one directory in here, so let's go dir. Says just Fox. Let's go inside of the Fox. And we want to see the contents and which of the files in here are executables. So dir shows too many files at a time. We can go dir/p to pause after each screen. So what we're after is this one, install.exe. Or we can also go dir and then *.exe. And it shows that there's just one executable in order to not to be any confusion. Okay. Install. There's auto completion. Press enter. Says FoxPro product installation. Press any key to continue. It has already found the existing installation. Okay. Installation into the default directory, which is FoxPro for DOS 2.6, so FPD26. Yes. So the value y will be provided if I just press enter. So this is the default answer, y, yes. Okay. Do you wish to install FoxPro and the help file and FoxPro X? Yes. Do you wish to install the help file? Yes. FoxPro extended version? Yes. The directory where you have chosen to install is not in your path environment variable. It should be in my path environment variable, so the installer should make this change. Press enter. Was unable to modify autoexec.bat because it does not exist. So we should create an empty file first. Okay, so it's extracting files and putting them in the correct file system hierarchy, correct directories, file names, etc. under C:\fpd26 directory. Okay. If you do not want to install any additional components, you can press escape, press any key to continue, and we're out. So what it complained about was that there's no autoexec.bat file in here. How do we create it? We can create it from outside. autoexec.bat like this. And the content was, just a second, probably what we expect. So that's set, and then path equals, and the directory c:\fpd26. And make sure that the end of lines are windows, and that it's a 7-bit file encoded, so only English characters equals : \\. Okay. Let's start DOSBox X, maximize, video toggle hide show menu bar, and we run in here autoexec.bat. Let's see the environment variables. So path is with the correct value, c:\fpd26. Okay, and now we can just run Fox. It will find the correct one, which is fox.exe. It takes some seconds to start. Okay, this is the first run wizard. It allows me to make Microsoft FoxPro for MS-DOS start in the correct place, which is just the command window. And I say that I do not want to see this wizard again. Okay. And that's it. You have the command prompt. You can run any commands in here. You can see standard output in this big blue rectangle. You can create databases, open databases, close databases, create database structures, use browse to edit all of the cells in the database, or edit just one row at a time with a form like view, read-write for a single row in the database. And you can create programs and menus. And this is it. Thank you.